you a registered dietitian or CNS wondering if you can actually afford to start a private practice? Hi, I'm Amy Plano. I'm the reimbursement dietitian, and I help hundreds, if not thousands, of registered dietitians and CNSs start their private practices every single year. And shockingly, one of the videos I have not done is talking about the different expenses and things you need to purchase and utilize in the beginning of your journey. Before you start to freak out and your heart starts to race, these things, many of these are not necessary, while many of them will help you. So let's get down and dirty. I'm going to take you guys through 10 expenses, things you need when you first start your practice as a registered dietitian. And because I am an insurance-based practice, I'm going to be taking you through my lens, through the things I utilize and needed at the very beginning of my practice. So by the end of this video, the goal is to ask yourself, can you, my friend, afford starting a private practice right now? And let's get to it. So first things first, credentialing is free. Unless you hire somebody like my team, which we're happy to do it for, we'll put the link below. Credentialing yourself and anybody on your team is free. Yes, it requires bandwidth. Yes, it requires patience, but credentialing with each insurance company is free. And if you landed on a site and it's telling you it's not, there's a good chance you're doing something wrong. So cost number one is actually no cost at all. So if you're doing credentialing on your own, it is free. The second piece, and I think that many dietitians struggle with this one, is an EMR. I know in the beginning of our career, we want to bootstrap. And what I mean by bootstrap, we want to decrease the cost. The reality is that by having an EMR, it will make your life so much easier. And I can say that because for the first 15 years of my practice, I did not have an EMR. And when I switched to using an EMR, I think like in 2020, like it was like the birds and the rainbow and the glitter started dropping from the sky because it made my life so much easier. We currently use Kalix. We love it. And I would say hands down, it is the best priced EMR plus clearinghouse on the practice. I will put my affiliate link below. So if you want to check it out, they also have a 30-day trial, but it is an EMR that will make your life so much easier. And it will end up saving you money because you will not need to go to all of the insurance portals to submit insurance claims. Everything will be locked up tight from a HIPAA standpoint. So go with Kalix, you will love it. Number three, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. E-Fax. Once again, something I thought I did not need in the beginning of my career, but something that is relatively inexpensive and necessary. Having an e-fax will make your life so much easier for getting referrals, documentation, faxing applications to the insurance companies, receiving information from the insurance companies. Without an e-fax, things go really slowly and you will be waiting for a while. So if you don't think you need an e-fax, I want you to reconsider that because this is an expense that will make your life easier. We use SR fax, love it. I've used a lot of different faxes. I'm going to put my email below. So if you want to check that one out, it's very reasonable. I want to say it's like $12 a month, depending upon the volume, but it will also save you a ton of time. And if you were like me, I thought I didn't need one, you definitely need one. The fourth expense is liability insurance. Excuse me. I get mine through Mercer Pro Liability through the Academy. We get a substantial discount. The average cost is probably about $130 to $300 plus per year, depending upon what services you are insuring. Number five, business phone number. So I actually use my personal phone as my business phone, meaning I don't have a separate physical phone for my private practice. I do have a separate phone number. And, and I'm trying to think, we use Ring RX and we pay about $20 per month for the phone line. You are able to, with a lot of these phone services, choose a phone number in your state. So it has the same, obviously, the same, what is it called? Area code, same area code. So it's not like some weird phone number coming in when you're calling your patients, returning phone calls. But what we love about, about our current carrier is it is HIPAA compliant and we can send texts. So Ring RX, super fan. We'll put my link below. We pay $19.95 per month. Okay. Everyone's least favorite topic, office space. So everybody knows you need office space if you are going to be an insurance-based dietitian. There is no such thing, unfortunately, anymore about being just virtual and not having an office location. So depending upon where you guys depend to open up shop, some dietitians will rent space from another provider who's not using the space. Some dietitians will rent space from like a Regis or a WeWork or something of that nature. Some dietitians will go all in and just rent an entire office for the month. Obviously, it depends on where you live and obviously where you're, going to open up shop. What I would suggest in my experience is that you are generally a destination. And what I mean by that is like, we currently are in the middle of a pretty giant, popular plaza. So we pay a premium. We've been there, gosh, almost for 20 years, which is crazy. But you guys don't need to be front and center. So as long as the spot is safe, comfortable, all of the things, then I would go for that space. But obviously it's going to depend on where you are. So I can't give you a finite number, but I would say on average, dietitians are paying about $250 to $1,500 plus per month. The $1,500 number is generally in more of a metropolitan city. So somewhere in like New York City, Boston, San Francisco, Chicago, you can expect to pay in that amount. Internet, I know that this is an obvious one, but this is something that I forgot about. In Connecticut, where my office is located, we pay $65 a month for internet, which I think is actually pretty freaking amazing. And I don't even think we paid like a one-time fee to kind of get set up. So internet, obviously something you need, something I forgot that I needed and probably didn't think that much about until we actually needed it. And then the last piece is business licenses. So depending upon your state, your county, your business entity, you may need to pay for a business license, like a license to operate in your state. In Connecticut, we don't really have anything like that. We pay something for our LLC every year or S corporation. It's like a nominal, I think it's like $80. But I would say business license as a whole are genuinely annual. And they are generally like a couple $100 a year. So those are the big expenses that I have seen. So let's just recap. So credentialing is free. In EMR plus the clearinghouse, the cheapest one, which is Kalix, would be about $60 per month. A fax, HIPAA compliant, about $10 per month. Liability insurance, probably about $12 to $20 per month. A business phone number, I would say, like I said, probably depending upon the actual plan, about $18 to $25 per month. Rent, let's just say on average, $250 to $500 per month. And then internet, for us, it's $65 to $75 per month. And then a business license, like I would say on average, pretty low, about $6 per month. So those are the main things that you guys need relative to opening an insurance-based practice. I didn't include things like a computer, right? Because you probably already have access to a computer or a laptop. So I did not include that in the cost, but I like to look at my costs monthly because that is what I need to be paying every single month. Obviously, you can look at your expenses for the year and come up with yearly totals. But generally, obviously, you pay most of these bills, most of these invoices monthly. So that is why I broke everything down. And I think that, what is the number? So the number that I came up with, a bare minimum, you generally want to have about 6 months of operating expenses in the bank. And so if we took those numbers that we just talked about, it's about $600 per month. And if we were to give ourselves a buffer, which I highly, highly recommend, because you're not going to just hang a shingle in your practice and then be ready to rock and roll, you'd be looking at a total nut in your bank account of about $3,600 for 6 months on average, right? We want to just throw out any outliers, right? If you're in a metropolitan city, you have a group practice, we're saying like solopreneurs looking at about $500 to $600 per month times 6, because we want to have a buffer to get started, in your insurance-based practice. So hopefully this helped. Like I said, I feel like I didn't know what I didn't know when I first started my practice. If you have questions on physical locations, if you head over to reimbursementdietitian.com, I have a ton of blogs on, questions to ask when looking for physical space, why it's required by the insurance companies, so on and so forth. So I wanted to provide a brief overview, and that number was about $600 per month relative to running your practice. And then I love, 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 and want you guys to have a buffer. So 6 months, which would be $3,600 in your business bank account. So that is the number you want to ask yourself, can I afford to open a private practice right now?